Hello, my name is Tony from iPhone 8 leak details Apple's biggest problems. iPhone 8 will look fantastic and all signs point to it being a runaway success, even if it costs the earth. But Apple does have problems with its biggest redesign yet, and they were just confirmed. Predictably, the source is acclaimed Apple insider KGI Securities Ming-Chi Kuo, and in a new report obtained by MacRumors, he has confirmed Apple faces both supply chain problems and design restrictions. Let's break them down. Supply chain problems. Perhaps the biggest thorn in Apple's side with the iPhone 8 is its headline feature, the switch to an enlarged OLED display. And Kuo states this will cause a record supply deficit at launch. The older version will be in short supply, as we forecast shipments in 3Q17 will be 2-4 MN units or less. We do not think production of the old iPhone will pick up substantially before 4Q17, and given strong demand, tight supply may persist until 1Q18 before improving much. To put this in context, Apple sold 41M iPhones in Q3 2017, and the newly released iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus accounted for almost 25M of them, despite only being on sale for a few weeks. Given the iPhone 8 is the first dramatic redesign of the iPhone in 3 generations, limiting it to 2-4M units could cause chaos. Furthermore, Apple sold over 45M iPhones in Q4 2016, so if stock remains heavily restricted until Q1 2018 as Kuo predicts, then the crucial Christmas period is under threat. The good news is Kuo states the iPhone 8 will launch at the same time as the cheaper, more incremental iPhone 7 and iPhone 7s Plus. My tip: if you do manage to get an iPhone 8 before Christmas, the most sensible thing would be to auction it. iPhone 8 design limitations. Last week I exclusively revealed the design of the iPhone 8, and its cut-out top bezel had limited Apple to just 3 colors at launch compared to the 6 variants: black, jet black, silver, gold, rose gold and producted, currently available. Kuo agrees the iPhone 8 will be limited to 3 colors, but he states they will be black, silver and gold. Some describe it as closer to copper/bronze, whereas my source believe black, silver and jet black would be the options. But both Kuo and my source believe this is the end of the road for rose gold. New iPhone 8 features. Where Kuo and I are fully on the same page, however, is fast charging. In January I exclusively revealed fast charging was coming to the iPhone 8, and Kuo agrees. Though he believes the fast charging power adapter could be an optional extra, while I understand that will only be the case for the iPhone 7s and iPhone 7s Plus, yes, fast charging is coming to them as well. It is worth pointing out the quick charger plug for these iPhones will lose USB Type-C, but the iPhone 8, iPhone 7 seconds and iPhone 7 seconds Plus will stick with the Lightning port. Disappointed about that? Well, you won't have to use the Lightning port at all if you don't want to, as there will be wireless charging as well. All of which means the biggest iPhone 8 question is likely to be whether you can live without Touch ID and rely on the all-new Face ID's facial recognition software instead. While supply of the iPhone 8 will eventually increase, this is going to be one area Apple needs to get 100% right on day one. Thank you for watching. For the follow-up, subscribe to the channel yourself here.
The iPhone 8. More details from the latest leaks here on Forbes. Forget the iPhone 7s or iPhone 8, something else comes this way. And then there's the question of the name. The internet has seemingly settled on iPhone 7s, iPhone 7s Plus, and iPhone 8 or at least those are the terms you need to search for to find any news. That doesn't mean Apple will stick with those names. There's more than enough evidence from previous launches that Tim Cook has something else in mind. With all the talk of the iPhone 8 online, it's unlikely that even Apple's ivory tower view of the media would release 3 handsets with numbers lower than 8. Which means you have a basic model, a plus-sized phablet, and a highly specified and insanely expensive model. Apple already has a pattern for this, so let's reconfigure the lineup around the hip new labels and fit in with the numbering scheme to offer us the iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, and iPhone 8 Pro. Except Tim Cook apparently has arithmophobia, so let's drop the 8 bomb and regenerate the lineup in the 10th anniversary of the first Apple smartphone. iPhone. iPhone Plus, iPhone Pro. Some justification on the new naming conventions here. Can Apple really live without Touch ID? Touch ID, the biometric fingerprint scanner on the iPhone range devices, looks set to be missing from the iPhone 8. Thanks to the removal of the home button, Touch ID would have needed a new home in any case. Options such as embedding it in the power button or using the Apple logo on the rear chassis have been mentioned, but these are being ignored. Tim Cook is going to gamble on losing Touch ID altogether and rely on facial recognition. As leaked in its own software, Apple will instead move all iPhone 8 security to Face ID, a new facial recognition that will hopefully work better than Samsung's erratic implementation in the Galaxy S8 and Galaxy S8 Plus, which struggles in bright sunlight, low light, and when wearing glasses/sunglasses. But Samsung played it safer than Apple, because both the Galaxy S8 and Galaxy S8 Plus still retain their fingerprint sensors as a fallback. They are idiotically positioned, but they were still my default method of unlock within a week of using each phone. More here on Forbes. Improving your portrait. Lurking inside the latest iOS 11 beta release is new code for Apple's portrait mode. This is the dual-camera-powered bokeh effect, where the subject is in sharp focus, while the background goes out of focus. Apple has refreshed the settings, but also stores data of the original image capture so you can remove the effect for a clean portrait at a later time. Mike Weatherly has more. Portrait mode not only has exited its beta status, but has seen some improvements as well. The procedure to take the shot is unmodified, but the edit feature now allows for the effect to be removed at will, and non-destructively. The effect still can't be applied retroactively if the image wasn't taken in portrait mode to begin with. All the details are at Apple Insider. Calling Dick Tracy, Apple style. For a companion device, a lot of people want the Apple Watch to operate independently from the host iPhone or iPad. Apple more than likely has the technology to do so inside Cupertino's labs, but is it ready for the public? Bloomberg's Mark Gurman believes so. Currently, Apple requires its smartwatch to be connected wirelessly to an iPhone to stream music, download directions and maps, and send messages while on the go. Equipped with LTE chips, at least some new Apple Watch models, planned for release by the end of the year, will be able to conduct many tasks without an iPhone in range, the people said. For example, a user would be able to download new songs and use apps and leave their smartphone at home. More on the unconnected Apple Watch potential here. Go large, an option for new MacBook Pro. As it stands, the MacBook Pro machines top out at 2 TB of storage, provided by a pair of 1 TB VNAND package. Now that the South Korean company has been able to increase the size of these chips, Apple will have the option to ship a Mac machine with a whopping 4 TB of storage in the near future. Samsung announced a 1 TB VNAND chip that it expects to be available next year. Initially mentioned in 2013, during unveiling of the industry's first third NAND, Samsung has been working to enable its core memory technologies to realize 1 TB of capacity on a single chip using a VNAND structure. The arrival of a 1 TB VNAND chip next year will enable 2 TB of memory in a single VNAND package. More at Samsung, and a tip of the hat to Ben Lovejoy. And finally, following the lukewarm reception to Planet of the Apps, Apple's second original series has debuted and the reaction has not improved by much. Carpool Karaoke takes the short-format sketch from The Late Late Show, ports it over to Apple's distribution system, and increases the runtime. Has it worked? Rebecca Nicholson reviews the show. Apple has supersized his formula but, in doing so, has managed to misunderstand entirely what it is that made it charming. Judging by the first episode and what's teased later in the series, this is less about getting a revealing interview out of someone who may otherwise seem distant, and more about bowing down to the power of celebrity. Will Smith, who stars in the first episode, isn't there to have a conversation with Courtney. He's there to perform. The full review is at The Guardian. Apple Loop brings you 7 days worth of highlights every weekend here on Forbes. Don't forget to follow me so you don't miss any coverage in the future. Last week's Apple Loop can be read here, or this week's edition of Loop's sister column, Android Circuit, is also available on Forbes. Thank you for watching. For the follow-up, subscribe to the channel yourself here.